Hi, my name is Emma, and today we're going to discuss sickle cell anemia. There are several different types of sickle cell disease, but today we're going to focus on sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia is a blood disorder in which the blood cells are misshapen and prevent the normal flow of blood throughout our body. A healthy blood cell is soft and round, sort of like this, and has like a concave center. So then with that concave center, our body is able to shape our blood cells, like squish them, and for them to fit in the smaller spaces, and then they come right back. You can bend them, and then they'll bounce back too. So that's a normal healthy cell. And someone who has sickle cell disease has sickle cell shaped blood vessels. Not all of them are shaped this way, but most. With a sickle cell shape, they are like banana shaped or moon shaped, sort of look like this. When they are shaped like this, they are hard, and they're unable to like change their shape. So when they go through our blood vessels, they look like this, and then they can get stuck on anything. Like if they go one direct, like if they sort of like they V shape, they can get stuck on one side or stuck in the middle. And then when they get stuck, they cause a clot, which also kind of reminds me of like a traffic jam. And a traffic jam is when you're in your car and you're stuck. So you have people in front of you and you have people behind you. You also have people on both sides or just one side. So when you're stuck, you can't go anywhere. You can't, go around the person. You can't go forward. You can't go backwards. You're stuck. So when we have a clot or a blocked blood vessel or artery, our healthy blood cells can't get through or by in order to carry oxygen. So our red blood cells carry oxygen, and our oxygen is carried to other destinations, so like our organs. So when we stop that flow of oxygen, we don't have enough oxygen for our organs to function. Sickle cell anemia is a gene mutation that is passed down or inherited through families. It can be passed down from one parent or both parents that have the abnormal sickle cell gene. So you can get it from mom and dad, or just mom and just dad. So that being said, you can be a carrier of sickle cell, where you inherit a normal gene from mom and an abnormal gene from dad, or a abnormal gene from mom and a normal gene from dad. So when you're a carrier, so you have one good gene and one bad gene, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're affected by sickle cell, but you are a carrier, which means you can pass it down to your kids or to someone else. About 100,000 people in the United States have sickle cell, so it's on the rarer side, but it is more common than you think. Someone who has sickle cell anemia may get sick a lot. They may have may get sick a lot because our body is unable to filter out the nasty stuff that is in our body. So when we're unable to filter out that, we can get a lot of infections, which is not good. Someone who has sickle cell may have sudden pain that we also call crises, which is where we cannot make enough red blood cells to replace the ones that are being destroyed. There are 4 different types of crises that I'm going to mention. The first one is vaso-occlusive crisis, which means that it's sort of like this, but it's like a tangled mess. So they're just all over. They're all stuck all over. So that's the vaso-occlusive crisis. The sequestrian crisis is a large amount of blood that is pooled in one area. So you have a lot of blood in one area. So it's almost like you're holding someone to one area. So like it's like if your mom grounded you and you're not allowed to leave your room. That's holding someone in one area. So that's like pooling all your blood in one spot. An aplastic crisis is not having enough, so you don't have you have less amount of red blood cells in your body. A hyperhemolytic crisis is breaking down blood cells quickly, so then your body's not able to replace those. Something else that can be common with someone who has sickle cell are blood clots. So stopping the normal flow of blood. Dark urine, swelling in the hands or feet, and some chest pain due to that lack of blood flow. They may have an enlarged spleen, and our spleen is a very important organ when it comes to our blood. It helps filter the body's blood by taking out the icky stuff and the blood flow, which is also an important part of our immune system. So if we can't take out if it can't be filtered through our spleen, then it's a cause for infection. Our red blood cells are also recycled here. The old blood cells are taken out of the blood flow. So with that being said, a normal healthy blood cell, the round and concaved blood cell, can live up to 120 days in a healthy individual. But someone who has sickle cell anemia, their red blood cells can only live 10 to 20 days. So when someone with sickle cell disease has their body is replacing red blood cells regularly, can be very difficult and can lead to severe anemia, which means a lack of healthy red blood cells, which leads to less oxygen. Sickle cell anemia is treated similarly to all other types of sickle cell disease. The most common is the use of antibiotics, and antibiotic is a drug that inhibits or stops the growth of or destroys microorganisms, which are bad things that can cause infections. They can lead to they can get red blood cell transfusions. So that means that we get new blood from somebody else. Treatment with a drug called hydroxyurea, which helps prevent the formation of the sickle cell shape. So it helps prevent this, our normal healthy blood cell, turning into this, our sickle cell. Red blood cells, the drug is with our red blood cells turning into a sickle cell. The drug is also used to treat cancer by slowing or stopping the growth of cancer cells in the body. And another very rare treatment would be transplanting our stem cells. People with sickle cell anemia should avoid exercise because it can trigger a crisis, causing our large red blood cells to become sickled, our banana moon shaped, like this. Good food to eat for someone who has sickle cell anemia would be fruits and vegetables. Also a lot of protein, which are like our eggs and meats. So that being said, I'm going to do a quick demonstration of what a normal blood cell versus a normal blood would look like going through a blood vessel versus what sickle cell red blood cells would look like going through. So we have a blood cell. It's clear so you can see how it works. I made some fake blood. I don't know. I'll show you. And with the fake blood, we have lots of little tiny red blood cells. So with our little tiny red blood cells that are normal shaped, and you feed them and they're pumped through our vessels or arteries, the flow is super smooth and easy, and they go through without any type of hesitation, and there's no blockage. Sorry, it's messy. I'll show you one more time. So regular blood, normal healthy blood with all the round shaped blood cells being pumped through a vessel that is clear. Now we're going to add a bunch of maybe sickle cells. So I have a bunch of small sickled cells, red blood cells, and I'm just going to kind of put them together here. Kind of make a little clot. So let's say that we had normal blood cells go through, and then we're going to add some. This is what someone with sickle cell anemia what would happen with them. So our blood is, our sickle cell shaped, our moon shaped, is going to get stuck. So, oh, maybe not. I didn't like that. So we're stuck. And that was like a clot going through the blood vessel. So with that, we're just going to add a few more here. They're stuck. So it's harder for our blood to pass through because of the clot that's up here. So it's still able to pass through a little bit, but not able to pass through at like a full capacity as someone with normal blood cells. So you see how it's like stuck up here, and it can't get, it's got to pass through all the grooves. So this is sort of what the clot looked like that we put in there. And then it's stopping the flow of the blood. All right, that concludes the demonstration there. All right, so with sickle cell anemia, it is on a rare side. It is still common, and no matter what disease anybody has, we should still be there and help them, and love them no matter what. So sickle cell, that was sickle cell anemia. Thank you